So how do you survive and thrive in a recession as a video editor or a content agency owner? This is a great question to ask because it seems like we are about to enter some pretty turbulent times if we are not in the middle of them already. And the fact that you clicked on this video already shows me that you are more aware of the situation than 99% of people out there, and you are actually out there searching answers so you can position yourself better so it won't affect you as much. So first of all, I want to commend you for that. And in this video, I'm going to be sharing with you all the things that I'm personally doing to position myself better, and I'm telling people in my community to do as well. Now, I want to clarify first of all that if you have started a creative agency or you started editing in the last 5 to 10 years, you have never been through economic downturn properly, at least in business. You may have experienced it a little bit as a kid when you were smaller, maybe it affected your family a lot, but you haven't actually been through it. You haven't experienced what it's been like, neither have I. So again, take everything I say with a slight grain of salt, but I'm just going to be using kind of like the instincts that I have and everything I've learned over the last few years as my experience, and I'm hoping I'm going to be right. So the first thing I would recommend you to do is to cut back on all unnecessary spending. So this is not the time to buy the Louis Vuitton t-shirts and all of that crap, which already loses half of its value the moment you buy it. It's not the time to go and flex with those few $1,000s a month you make with your editing, let's say. This is the time where you should put that money back into two things. Number one, like save it, invest it, because every single dollar that's invested into crypto or stocks or real estate, whatever it is, right? When the market is down, it can be worth a lot more within just a few years when the market will make a nice recovery. Now, not saying at all that we are at the market bottom or anything like that, like we haven't even properly had a big crash, but in case it happens, it's really good to have some money saved up, not only for emergencies, but also that you can invest. Especially if you're young, you can get a really big advantage here if you can, have some money saved up when something like this happens. And the second thing you should do with your money is invest it back into skills. So the only thing that can never be taken away from you is the skills that you acquired, right? Whether that be sales, whether that be marketing, whether that be how to build an agency, whatever it is, right? Once you have learned that skill of how to do it, you will never have that taken away from you. You will be always able to use it. So I think it's one of the best things that you can spend money on. It's sharpening your skills, whether it's as an editor, whether it's as a content agency owner, because that's going to allow you to actually outperform others, right? And when the market kind of contracts, the competition gets a lot tighter. Only the fittest will survive. So those people who are not investing back into their own skills, who are not getting, mentors, who are not buying books, whatever it is that you use to educate yourself, those people are going to be in a much tougher spot because they won't have access to the same higher level information that the other guy who is doing that has access to. And also, you probably want to diversify your skills a little bit. So it's important that you are amazing first at whatever it is that you specialize in, whether that be animation or editing long form YouTube videos or editing documentaries, whatever it is, right? First, you want to make sure that you are world class at it, but then you will probably want to diversify your skill stack as well, so you can start offering more of a 360 approach service, because a lot of companies are going to be cutting back down on employees, right? They will not necessarily want to have a separate guy for editing, a separate guy for posting and social media management, separate guy for thumbnails, separate guy for just the animations. They will probably fire a lot of those people who they don't think are absolutely necessary, and they will just get one guy who can do all of those things at less of a cost than all these people separately. So if you can expand your skill set, learn some new things, again, that's going to help you a lot as well to either get a job or keep your job, or to get clients as a full stack editor. Another thing that I'm going to consider doing is creating a lower ticket version of my main service that can get clients 80% of the results that they could get with the main service, but that is a lot less effort to produce. Therefore, I could sell it at a lot lower price with the same margin still. So to give you an example of what I'm actually talking about, let's say we have a full-on YouTube management service, which costs $2,000 for 4 videos, so 1 video a week, right? And it includes everything from the video editing with the animations and all of that stuff, the thumbnail, the ideas, the descriptions, and all of that, right? So what I would potentially do is, let's say if it cost me $150 for these highly edited videos, where there is a bunch of animations, B-rolls, all of that stuff throughout the entire clip, Well, I might going to create a package where they only get the first 1 minute, the hook highly edited, and the rest of it will have way lighter editing, which might get them a lot of the same results, but I could produce that for a third of the cost, right? And that would allow me to have the same margins but charge way lower prices and overall get still similar results for them, because a lot of businesses will not pay for the luxuries, right? Like the luxurious editing, so to say, the little tiny details that cost extra 10 hours to make. Now, I'm not saying, and I'm not trying to create panic in you that, oh, editing is no longer going to be a viable way to make money. That's absolutely not the case. Whether you're a freelance editor or a creative agency owner, you'll still be able to make money. And in fact, if you can figure out a good offer in these markets, is when you can actually make a lot of money. And also, you have to realize that a lot of companies are actually paying these social media managers a full-time salary for, let's say, 5K a month, and all they are doing is just making a couple shitty posts in Canva and posting that on their LinkedIn and Instagram. So a lot of those people will be replaced if you can produce better results for that company for a much cheaper cost. So again, I think you have to look at this time as an opportunity for you to get to the next level, but you have to realize that this is not the time to take it easy, right? This is the time where you want to double down on learning new skills, investing back into yourself, and outreaching, prospecting, right? Growing your client base, because you can really expand if you are just going the extra mile over everybody else in this time period, who are just, you know, taking it easy and who have a job, maybe they get a nice salary, but they aren't putting in any effort really. Then the next piece of advice I would have for you is to focus on self-mastery, so discipline and consistency as well, both in your daily routines and outside of work as well, and also inside of your work. So you have those tasks that you know you should be doing, right? Like, you know, you should be posting content on your pages. You know, you should be asking clients for referrals and testimonials and going the extra mile, getting back to them quickly. You know, you should be sending a certain amount of outreach every single day. You know, you should be building your brand. You know, you should be doing all of these things, yet a lot of you guys are not doing it consistently. So this is the time to really dial in, get consistent with your workouts, get consistent with your eating, get consistent with healthy habits, you know, learning, and also over delivering on your client side and really doing all those tasks that you've been procrastinating. And if you can do that, again, you will not only survive but thrive. And last but not least, you really want to dial in your messaging, your offer, and then start ramping up your outreach during times like this. You want to make sure that you're getting on a lot of calls, you have a lot of opportunities in your pipeline, and you are consistently following up with all the leads, all the opportunities. Because if you have a dry pipeline, right, if you don't have any appointments booked for the next month, well, if you have a client drop you, then you are going to be in pain, right? You are going to have to suffer. So it's important that you kind of try to diversify your income over time throughout more clients. So if you just lose one client, it's not going to cut your income in 50% or in half, right? It's the time to really make sure you have a full pipeline at all times. You're following up, you're setting enough calls, and you are diversifying your income. So it's not coming all from one client or two clients, but rather 5 or 6, right? So even if you lose one of them, they have to cut back on budget. Even then, it's not going to affect you as much, and you already have future opportunities lined out for you as well. So I really hope these pieces of advice are going to serve you well and that you are going to be able to apply it. Trust me, these times are going to be the ones that really define you, right? They are going to define who you are as a person. And there is this saying, which is a super big cliche, but it's true, that what doesn't kill you makes you stronger, right? So if you can not only survive but also grow in a market like this, where there is less money in circulation, opportunities are a bit less frequent, then when the market will go back up again, then it will be easy for you, and you will be able to even just 2x, 3x your business with the same effort, because you know you had to actually sail in a rough sea. If everything is going super easy, everything is nice and cozy, you're not going to be sharpening your skills as much. You're not going to develop deep rooted just skills, right? You're not going to be world class at sales or lead generation, right? Or any of these things. But when the sea is very rough, that's when the most skilled sailors are actually made. So I hope you enjoy this video. If you want to see more content from me, make sure to subscribe to the channel, and I will see you guys in the next one.